For sure. Yeah, just let me know who you want me to be.
Okay. Yeah. So I I just framed it as you can be whoever's leading user experience or the most related department at some sort of B2B SaaS company. Um, just kind of like Command Bar's target customer that we've been talking about. So probably on the medium to large size in terms of users, but it doesn't really matter. I don't think what the exact product is, just B2B SaaS.
Cool.
Cool. All right, let's get started then. Well, hey, Kyle, thanks for taking the time to get on the phone with me. I really appreciate it. Just wanted to get a better sense of how business is going for you and how your experience has been, leading user experience at your company. So yeah, maybe fill me in on just how user growth has been progressing so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks. Good to connect with you, Peter. Yeah, so I'm head of product here at Monday.com. We do sort of like a task management software that combines a bunch of different things, everything from like sales and CRM to tasks to HR, project management. Yeah, so things are going pretty well for us. We just raised another round, so we're growing really quickly.
Awesome.
Just passing that sort of B round range, and you know how it goes. Things are moving quickly. Hard to stay on top of a lot of the demands we're getting from customers, or requests we're getting from customers to implement new features and stuff like that. And definitely having trouble dealing with sort of bloat in our UI. So like as customers ask for more and more features, now we have like tons of different components in the UI that make it a little bit hard to figure out what's going on.
Right. Have you been seeing any churn based on that, based on customers not being able to interact with the product in the way you intended?
I don't know if we've seen too much churn just yet. I think, to be completely honest with you, like the way our platform's structured is sort of like once you're on it, it's really tough to migrate all of your task management stuff out of there.
Okay.
It's considered a lot of work. So we don't get a lot of churn. I think it's more, there's a lot of competitors in the space. So there's a lot of options when people are just starting out. So it's really like grabbing new companies, or people who are looking to be customers early, because if you miss them, then you'll probably miss them forever.
Okay. Cool. Well, thanks so much for that background. I'm happy to tell you a little bit about what we do and what our product looks like. Basically,
Sure.
we offer a streamlined product for your user experience and your UI that plugs directly into your existing stack. So mainly the way I see it as a potential use case for you is you'll be able to get users onboarded easier. It's a lot less friction. So that's one of our main product features. We also offer a search bar, which will allow users to get the information they need faster and really just navigate your product in a lot more efficient way to find what they need. And you're building all these products and features for them. You want them to be able to find them and use them so they can derive value from Monday.com. So we help them actually access that value that you've already built. And so another feature is that we offer push notifications. So if there's a new feature that you've released, that will be front of mind for new or just all of your users. So they'll be able to see that, and that should help you with A/B testing as you're rolling new things out, and also with product development and getting feedback on products, because hopefully you'll be able to ramp up new users on a new feature pretty quickly. We also push relevant help content forward so that users can see that, and hopefully that will be brought to their attention in a quick manner, so that if they are having issues, they can resolve them through a self-service model. And really one of the main propositions, it's super easy to implement. So we like to say that you can have it up and running within an hour and plugged into your existing tools. So and we offer scalable pricing along the way. So you say you're growing really quickly, that's great. So it'd be super easy to put something together that matches your current state, but also as you go on to that C round, D round, public, wherever you're headed, we can scale with you. And so for your specific scenario, I think overall it's a quick and robust way to significantly improve the user experience. And so basically at the end of the day, for Monday.com, what that means is more users coming to the platform, because I assume you're do a lot of PLG. You want your customers to really be having viral growth based on their experience. So if you're able to improve that experience a little bit with our platform, hopefully you can attract more users, and it'll help your sales team be more effective. And really one of the main ways is reduce customer success workload, by really making it easier to navigate and pushing helpful content to the forefront. Users won't be relying so much on your team to help them through the process of implementation or dealing with issues. So how does that sound to you? You think that matches something that you might be interested in as you're trying to deal with, like you said, this UI bloat as you're adding a bunch of new features?
Yeah, for sure, Peter. I think you kind of touched on a lot of different things we have issues with, and I'm like most curious where we'll get the most leverage out of a tool like Command Bar. But yeah, so we'd happy to learn more. It seems like there's just a lot of overlap there.
Yeah, there's a lot of different features, and as we learn more about your business, hopefully we can hone in on exactly what the value proposition is. But if you're growing really quickly, you're adding a bunch of new features. I think the main value proposition that comes to mind is just helping users organize that in an efficient way and access these new features that you're creating, so that they're not running around to a bunch of different areas of your site and not getting the things that they need. So a follow-up question, is there anyone else that we would need to loop in on this discussion that might be helpful in moving towards a decision or thinking about how it might be useful for Monday.com?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, going forward, so I think this is great. I'd love to hear more on our next call. I think I'll probably loop in our head of engineering. I know you said it's a pretty light lift in terms of implementation, but need to make sure that their eyes get on that as well, just to make sure they agree. And I think between the two of us, we should be enough to make this decision.
Awesome. That's great to hear. I'd be happy to chat with him or her. So yeah, I'll reach out and we can schedule a follow-up call with them looped in and go from there.
Okay, great. Thanks so much, Peter.
Great. Awesome, Kyle. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, good to go.
Cool. Hey, Peter, how are you doing today?
Good. How you doing, Kyle?
Doing pretty well. Was your Thanksgiving okay?
Yeah. Everything was great. Just hanging out with family. Nothing too complicated, but it was nice to get a little break from the craziness. How about you?
Cool. Yeah. No, same for me. Yeah. So I'd be curious to hear a little bit more about that craziness. How are things going for you guys over there at Tableau?
Good. We just what was it, a year ago or so, went under an acquisition from Salesforce. So we've been doing a lot of integrations and kind of new business processes and things like that. But overall, the growth is still there. We're still seeing a lot of users come onto our product, which is great to see. So that's, as you know, with growth comes craziness. So keeping us busy and on our toes.
Got it. Yeah. I mean, do you guys find that you're getting a lot of, product direction from Salesforce right now, or is it still pretty?
No, so we're still pretty independent. We still have our own CEO and executive committee and all that. So they're pretty much letting us operate independently. Some of like the comp structure and things like that have been integrated into their model, but generally product decisions and design are still up to us. We're able to integrate some of the other tools around Salesforce, which is nice. Some of the synergies there. So they have an Einstein platform that's AI driven, so that plugs in real nice to
Cool.
kind of the BI platform that is Tableau. So yeah, but product is still really in our hands.
Very cool. Yeah, I'd be curious to hear more about that, like those latest features you guys are rolling out there. I mean, that the hindsight stuff's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the main one I would point to. Other than that, we're adding a lot of basically our goal is we've always been a great platform for visualizing your data. Now we're trying to add the tools that enable us to explain your data. So that's kind of where the AI comes in, and a couple of the other features that we're working on are all kind of targeted at that value prop. So if a client has some messy data, we want them to not only be able to sort it out visually, but double click on a specific data point and see why is that the way it is and what does that mean for their business. So we're trying to make that process as seamless as possible. So going all the way to the insights level of the data pipeline.
Right. No, I think that makes a ton of sense. I mean, and I think that meshes great with what we're doing over here at Command Bar. So just to give you like a high level snapshot, Command Bar is basically a toolbar that can live on top of any web application that helps users automate actions inside that tool. Right. So we're using a lot of ML and AI as well to basically help users get to their end goal faster and a lot of times with better outcomes. So like the way we sort of think about it is almost like bring a Google Assistant or Siri or Alexa to every single web app, right? So it's not just about, hey, here's a toolbar where you can search through things. It's a toolbar where, hey, you can actually do things.
Right.
And I think like if we put something like your Einstein technology behind our command bar, I think like the AI potential there could be off the charts, right? So like when that user goes and says, hey, I want to dive deeper into this data point, or I want to visualize it in this way, I think it'd be really powerful to be able to let users do all of that just through voice and text commands.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. I mean, I think we do a lot of business on our desktop version of the app. Is that this command bar also function there, or is it only in the web app?
Yeah, so exactly. So the desktop app is the web app.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's actually exactly our wheelhouse, right? So we have some movement into mobile right now, but I don't think that would apply to you guys. Yeah, we're like very, desktop sort of. We sort of have actually two sort of disparate user groups that maybe one applies to you or not. We sort of have the very lay user who's doesn't use this tool often. So like for you guys, maybe that's the not so data scientist who wants to visualize their data in Tableau, who just wants to be able to talk to it and be like, hey, visualize this data as a pie chart, and like it'll go figure out how to actually go generate all that for you. And then on the other hand, it's great for like power users who want to build a bunch of their own like macros and shortcuts into a web app. So we actually let users define, hey, if I hit like command P, that will generate a pie chart, right? Or something like that. So it sort of like hits both of these different targets. And I think one of the other cool things that it can do for Tableau in particular is help you capture what users are trying to do. By getting that sort of like natural text or natural language from the user, it's a lot easier to understand their intent beyond, what we traditionally do, which is like click tracking and stuff like that.
Right.
For example, like, I was talking to a customer of ours a couple weeks back who does exactly this sort of thing in like data visualization space. And they were saying they gained amazing insights into what the customers were actually trying to do that actually sort of totally changed up their product roadmap just based on that feedback.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's great to hear that someone in our space has been using it. And I hear a lot of places where we could really leverage it. I mean, as we've been adding these new features, it's getting harder to navigate them and harder to find them, really. Someone comes in and they use the basic features of our platform, and that's great, but they become a power user and they become more sticky of a customer when they actually get into the deeper parts of the product. So helping them access that would definitely be great. And I think we do touch kind of both of the segments that you're talking about. So we definitely like to go through power users. I mean, that's like our champion. They're the ones who adopt it first at the firm and use it heavily. But there are a lot of CEOs and people at smaller firms that are doing this themselves and they're not data experts. And so having them be able to navigate our platform effectively, whether that's accessing the new Einstein and kind of insight based features, or just getting through the more basic parts of the product would be great. So yeah, no, I hear a lot that would be useful.
Cool. So let's do this. So I think we can probably pretty easily, because command bar is super lightweight, we can mock up a demo for you guys on your site actually. And I think it'd be pretty cool. So I think we can probably get that together maybe a day or two. So if that works for you, maybe a day or two from now, we can find some time. I can show you exactly what it can do for you in Tableau, and maybe we can loop in whoever else you think from your side would be want to be privy to that conversation.
Great. Yeah, no, that sounds awesome. I'd absolutely love to see a demo. I can get one of our engineering people involved as well, one of my partners on product as well, just to kind of get a bunch of eyes on what you can do for us, and then from there we'll be able to make a better decision.
All right, perfect. Sounds good, Peter. Yeah, we'll follow up over email. Chat soon.
Great. Thanks, Kyle.
Thanks. Bye.
All right, so I mean, main observations, I would say, I think you did a great job both tailoring it to Tableau specifically, just going off of the few data points I gave you of what we do. And I liked your engagement at the beginning, asking about my Thanksgiving. It's always, I forgot to do something like that, but I thought it was a nice touch from you to get that initial kind of personal touch involved.
Cool. No, thanks. Yeah. It's actually kind of funny. That's actually how I started the one right before Thanksgiving break as well. So that's like the only reason it was in my head when we were doing the demo in class.
Right.
But yeah, honestly, for yours, I really liked how you, at the end, were asking about other people who should be involved. And like, I guess the benefit of going second was I was able to also do that. Because obviously going first is a little harder. I definitely stole a few things from you. But I thought that was a really nice touch to just say, like, who is the champion, who's the decision-making committee, and like, let's get all those people into the room as soon as possible. Finding a champion early is definitely like way better than finding them late.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, that's something that I've just kind of experienced with internal, my previous role, a lot of what we had to do is kind of sell ourselves internally. And that was always the issue, right? Like, who do I actually need to talk to make this get done? But I liked your demo next step. I think that's a good one. As someone who has like bought software before, it's definitely, I mean, you have to see a demo. There's no way you're going to just move forward without that. So I think that was a good point as well. I'm trying to think of any constructive feedback, but honestly, I think it was pretty great.
Yeah, I think like looking at both of ours, I think we both didn't do much storytelling, which I think could have been better.
That's fair. Yeah.
Like, that was sort of another note I made after, I guess, you went first, was like, you didn't really do much storytelling. I sort of tried to force it in there by talking about some other customer, but it didn't feel very natural even to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
True.
It's kind of hard, I guess, when it's like not your real product and you're not actually selling this day to day and you don't have real stories. But yeah, no, I think both of us probably, I think, could have done better storytelling.
That's a fair point. I think storytelling along with, and very related, but just like evidence, like you said, it's very hard when you don't know the product and you don't have numbers to pull from on, how many users you have and what the benefits have been. But I think that's a key thing that, we probably missed. But if it was a real scenario, would probably want to add.
No, for sure. Cool. Yeah. Is there anything else? Trying to see.
I think we both did a decent job asking open questions at the beginning, just to see kind of what the scenario was with their user base and their progress as a company.
Yeah, I guess one of the other things interesting was like neither of us knew who the other one was before going in.
Right.
So we didn't have like the background, like, because normally you probably do some diligence on like, all right, what is Tableau do? So I guess there's that. And then, like you said, we probably didn't have. It was hard to come up with proof points, I guess, on the spot because of that.
Right.
But yeah, I think all in all was pretty good.
Cool.
All right, sweet.
Awesome.